Okay, so for a parent volunteer, each morning a parent volunteer for the PTA checks the go home notes. So they would log in with their username and password. It would be your name or your username and password that you use for submitting. If you ever submit go home notes, the same thing. But we made one here for testing and just called the username parent volunteer.
And are you going to, when we all do that, then you will recognize us and give us, administrator sort of duties, right? Like we did last year. Okay.
Yeah. Once each of the parent volunteers registers with the website as just to get a username and password, then you'll tell me, and as a system administrator, I will give the specific parent volunteers the permissions to access the pages we need, the additional pages. So since I'm a parent, I see the regular submit go home notes as well, but I'm also a parent logged in as a parent volunteer, and so I have this verify go home notes. The same link is up here as a little menu. It's also right here on the page. You also have an option. This is mainly for the school staff. They will log in and have this option here. Though if you select this, it's stored with your information, and you will receive an email each day when whoever's checking the go home notes checks them and they click an option and then it's saved. You'll receive an email. We can do it just for testing purposes, but or if you're interested to see when they're verified each day, if you're a parent volunteer or school staff does it, and they're the main ones that do it. School staff won't see the submit go home notes unless they're also a parent at the school. They won't see this part. So I'll just click this button. Either this or the menu option up there would be the same thing. It brings you to a page here that lists for this date. It defaults to the current date. All of the requests, host, guest requests, early pickup, and dismissal change requests. There's two text boxes. It'd be better if it's just one, but we'll work on the user interface further later. This second one controls the list that's shown below. So you can pick a different date and see for previous dates, future dates. I don't think for test data I have any in these previous dates. But throughout the school year, if you pick something next week, it's often several parents have already submitted go home notes for that week, and there'll be some here, and you can kind of see them if you're just curious to see how it's going, but on a previous or current or future date. But you're usually interested when you come in to do this in the morning in the current date, and it will default to that anyway and display those. And then up here at the top, we're not ready for this yet. We want to look at the list below, but once we decide the list is finalized of what's confirmed and what should be removed and things, then you click this button here, and it's going to generate the PDF reports that will show up here, and then you can just print them. Or most likely, what a parent volunteer usually does, you can as a parent volunteer, you can check these at home here, call any parents where they're not confirmed, decide if they should be confirmed or if they should be deleted, it was an accident, whatever. And then you click finalize the go home notes, and this doesn't give you much confirmation here, but it sends an email to anybody that's a parent volunteer or school staff that had that other option selected that they want to receive an email. So the school staff receives this, and then they can come in and they print this, the reports. And you can undo it, and it sends another email saying, "Whoops, they changed it, and it's not confirmed anymore." If it's accidentally clicked, and then it can do it again, and it will confirm. That's all it does is send an email and mark it as confirmed. You can still undo it. So if they're confirmed, like this one, it means there's a corresponding host request. This is showing the host request. So this is the host child that was selected for the parent's child. Down here there's a guest request with this name. So it's this one, and this one isn't matching, so it's confirmed. So software saw that these were confirmed and marked on both the guest and the host confirmed, and that's how it shows up in the list. Basically duplicate, but in different orders, since they're corresponding. For these that are false means that this child's parent Sarah Thompson's parent had submitted a request to bring home Kimberly Simpson, but Kimberly Simpson's parents never submitted a corresponding request. So the parent volunteer would want to call Kimberly's parents and check. To do that, the volunteer can click on this link right here to see the student contact information. It shows the teacher, the parents' names, and down here, and if the child is in more than one family, this one I think I set up to be in 2 families. The parent information for both families will be shown here. This family, the way I have it set up, for example, has one single parent, and then the other family, they've been divorced or something, and so the other parent is remarried with 2 parents here. So all their information shows up here. They could then call them, confirm if they say, oh yeah, I meant to submit that, can I do it please? You can click on this button and it will go ahead and bring you back to the guest request screen where you can submit the request for them, even if it's after 8 a.m. Parents cannot submit them after 8 a.m., but someone with this role of a parent volunteer can. It will select the kids, the students that were selected on that screen over there here for you. Unfortunately, right now I don't have it selected in the current date. Eventually, we should be able to do that. So all this is filled out because we know what we're trying to confirm. And then you can click submit. You could add a comment as a parent volunteer that submitted, talk to parents, confirmed, or something if you want. And then if you go back to that page, this would show as confirmed. If you want to delete one, if you click on the first column under target date, so clicking on the kid's name in either column brings up that contact information for that child and their family. Clicking on the first column takes you to that record, the host request. This is existing host request displayed like they saw when it was after they submitted it, and you can click edit or delete. So you can then edit. Here's the selected information of the existing request. You can delete it here. For example, if you called them and they said, no, that we changed plans, I meant to update it, sorry. Or you can delete it here. If you want to delete it, this is just test data, so I'll go ahead and delete it. It happens to show you that existing request at that point. You can always go back to home. So the parent volunteer is coming in here, calling, displaying information, looking for confirmed or not, and then can edit or delete the go home notes, can submit more go home notes if they need to after you talk to a parent. That's most of the work for the parent volunteers. Once that's done, you can either take a look at the reports or print them yourself, or you can click and say they're finalized. School will get an email. They can print them. But if you want to print them or look at them, click here. Take a few seconds. And it's got, so we have a list here. First of all, it has different reports in here. First list is unconfirmed guest requests, because if we accidentally, there's been cases where somebody would accidentally mark it as confirmed and there was still one as not confirmed on the list, and everybody wants to be really aware of that. If it's not confirmed and for some reason it's left on the list, the parents may not know and be confused because they thought it was confirmed. So we print a report every day. Even if this empty, it's going to say there should be every day say no unconfirmed request. But this goes to the front office, so they'll know if for some reason we couldn't confirm this one. And we went ahead and printed the reports though, like that. That will not. So this will not go on a report to a teacher, but the parent won't be maybe is thinking that it's confirmed and it's not. The front office will get that. Early pickup requests are shown like this for front office, and a copy is sent to the teachers. I think there's a different format in here for the teachers. Early pickup by teacher for each teacher. this is for that teacher named Newhouse in the system currently. It'll show up for every kid, every child that had an early pickup that's in that class. By bus, that same kids will show up there depending on which bus. Each bus, it'll see a report for bus 1. There was only one bus in this case, I guess, on these reports. Else there would be one for each bus that has a guest going on the bus. By grade, grades 1 and 2, the school wanted kindergarten 1 and 2. I think they're done by grade. So all of the kids in second grade are listed on one report. For upper grades, it's by teacher, one for each teacher. And then there's a full list of the, I guess these are just the guest requests actually, with all the details that were entered for the front office that the front office keeps. And I think there's 2 summaries that just list them like this for all the requests. I think there was only a couple requests. And these, one goes to front office, one goes to the SAC at school. But I mean, that's the front office handles that. They just need these reports. Once they can produce this, they know where they go at school. So that's the parent volunteer's job, is just to get to the point that they can check and see if they're confirmed or not, and reconcile any issues here that are not matched, so the parents are aware of it and the school is.
So last year I went to the PTA room and did this myself because I walked my kids to school, and then I would print the report and bring it to Carol in the office. You had to drop the bus ones off in the bus crate in the cafeteria. You had to print one of the 3 copies of the summary was posted in the PTA room on the cork board, and then everything else went to Carol by 9:30. And I never just emailed her to say they're done. So there is a link, there's a button you click that says, obviously you finalized them before you could generate them, but it says on the previous screen that you can email. It says email me if, receive email. And that goes to Carol or goes to the person doing them? How does she know when it's time to print them?
She has done this for herself too. She has a login. She only has this button that says generate. Well, she has these 2 buttons. She doesn't usually need to see the verify go home notes option, so she doesn't do that. But Carol just logs in. She has generate reports, does it for the current day, does the same thing, but it just picks the current day because that's all she needs. And she marks this, but if she goes on vacation or something, or sometimes another person in this front office will need to, while she's out on vacation, they need to turn this on so that they receive the email, instead of her. So they have that option, but they don't want to receive it all year because usually it's her. But I had this on last year, and I would receive the email every day, and I would see when the emails were, submitted because I would get, or confirmed because I get the email. And once in a while, by 11 o'clock, if I didn't, once or twice in the year, 11 or 12 o'clock, I didn't receive the email, I would log in and check and start calling the parent volunteer just to make sure that something didn't happen and somebody forgot. And that does happen once in a while. So.
Okay. So, that Carol will know which volunteer wants to work from home. And so she'll know, on Tuesday, she needs to be looking for this email to get the report. Right. I think that's what happened last year. There's certain people who would work from home and others that might go to the school.
Yeah, I don't know if she knows exactly who's at home or not. Maybe she does. I'm not really sure. But
I'll check with her about that. Okay.
I guess she has a list of who does which days in case she has to contact them. But otherwise, if she doesn't, if she gets the email, she prints it, I think. And otherwise, she expects to see somebody in there. If she doesn't hear from somebody by 9:30 or 10, she usually will email us and say, hey.
Yeah, okay.